juggling across spreadsheets, multiple windows for note taking, while still missing deadline? It's time to leave this lousy lifestyle behind and join Monday.com. It lets you create tailored workflow with unlimited boards, columns, and views to visualize your tasks and workflow. From marketing campaign to software sprint, it also has AI support and lets you automate multiple different tasks. And this video is a step-by-step tutorial. Build your first customizable board which supports multiple views like these. Add supporting documents to your workspace. Create a dashboard with useful insights and add an automation to make your workflow smarter. And this is a collaborative platform so you can add in your team members. So let's get started. Go to Monday.com and click on the Get Started option to create your account, and you can either use your Google or your email to sign up. You can then proceed by answering a few questions. Once you have answered a few questions, you'll be prompted to add in your team members, but I would suggest that you do it later once you have completed the setup of your workspace. So click on the Remind Me Later option, and then you can start with your first board or simply cancel this option and create one later on. So that's what we are going to do. So these are the default board and the dashboard, and I'm going to delete them because I need a board according to my project, which is content management, and these don't align with it. So it's better to delete them and create a new one than edit them. So simply click on the three dots option and delete this as well as this dashboard. Now my workspace is empty. So first off, I'm starting with renaming my workspace. So I'm going to click on this three dot next to the workspace, click on edit workspace and rename it, and let me call it digital team. And I can even change the icon by again going to this here, editing it and changing the icon to something else. I just change the background and that's it. Now let's get started with our boards. So our workspace is basically, it represents a team or a department. Then we have boards where our actual task lives. So let's create one by clicking on this add button and selecting the board option. Now you have to name your board. So this is my board name, that is Social Media Content Planner. Then you have the board accessibility settings, whether you want it to be a main board or a private board which will only be shared with selected member of teams, or do you want it to be shareable, that is available to the guests outside of your team. So this is my main board, so let me keep it to that, and I can either choose what I'm managing this board for, or I can create a new one because I don't see content here. So let me just add content as my managing and just create the board. So this is your board view. First thing that we see is the group, and then these are the items. So group are used to organize the board, so you can group your tasks according to either workflow stages or different team. But right now I'm going to group all of my tasks and content according to the campaign. So let me change the group title to a campaign name. So this is my group, and I can change its color from clicking on this color tab and choosing the color that I want. Let's keep it that one. And now I'm going to create one more group by clicking on this add new group button, and here I can rename my group. So I'm going to rename both of these groups, and let me just collapse them to get better understanding. So these are the three groups that our tasks will be divided into. Like I said, you can create groups according to your task and your bifurcation, however you want to organize it. Now let's expand one of our group, and here you can add in your task. You'll see all these default columns. So if you want to add new columns or delete the ones that you don't require, like this file column, so simply click on the three dot and delete it. Now I'm going to add in some more columns that are required for my task, like priority column, platform column. So to do so, I'm going to add by clicking on this add column option, and here you can search up the type of column that you want to add or select from these options. If you want to explore more, you can click on this more columns option. I'm going to simply add in a text column for my platform, and then I'm going to add in priority column. So let me search that. So this is the priority column. So now I want to change the label of this text column. Simply going to click on the label and it is editable. Now I'm going to add in my label, that is platform. So just like that, you can rename and edit the already existing column as well as add new ones. Now I want to change the sequence of these, I'm going to simply click on it and drag it to the front after person, and changes are made in all the groups. I changed this column name to due date to make it more sensible, and this is the priority one. I guess that's enough. Let me just collapse this sidebar for better visibility of our board only. Now to add items to your board, you just have to select the item name, and here you can edit this item, add in the new task that you want to assign, like in our case a reel product teaser. And if you want to add new content, you can simply click on this add button and enter in the content that you want to add, and simply click on enter option to insert it. Now coming to our columns, you have the platform column, status column, and due date as well as priority. So platform is a text column, so you can simply add in the text, but our team only produces content for specific platforms, so I want to change this platform columns from text to a drop down. So let me select this settings, and here I'm going to select this change column type and choose drop down option. Now it has created a new column, so I'm going to delete this old one, and this is my new column. Now I have to add in the column options for my drop down, so let's create labels like Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, etc. So that's how you can create drop down labels. Click on this edit labels button and you can edit them, either disabling them or deleting them. And once you have done with changes, you can click on this apply button. So I've added in all my labels, and here you can see these are the labels. I can simply assign them for my platform columns, and there we go. All the platform column entries are been done. Now coming to our status, if you can see, these are the default status. Let me click on one, and these are the only default status, but I want custom status for my task. I'm going to click on this edit label option. Here I can edit the ones that are already made, change their color as well as the label. So I'm going to turn this one to a draft. I'm going to need red color for the rejected. So these are all the custom status that I have created. Now I'm going to simply click on this apply button to apply all these statuses, and I can change the status of all my tasks. Next you have the due date, which you can simply click on and it will pop up a calendar from which you can select the due date. Like I'm going to set it to 27th. Next you have the priority, and similar to statuses, it already have custom labels which are good. So I'm simply going to change a tiny thing, that is the color of the critical one. I want it to be red, and simply apply it. Now I can assign my priority for each task. And lastly, you have the ability to assign person for each task. So this task is assigned to me. Next, I'm going to assign this one to me as well. And after you have added your team members, you can assign them the task. It will be shown over here. Let me just invite a new member by email and enter in another email. So you can see this task is assigned to someone else, which I just invited right now. Next feature that we are going to use is the subtask option. So these are all title tasks, right? So if I want to add subtasks for each of these tasks, I can simply go and click on this expand option, and it will create a new sub item for this task. Now here you can see the columns are different from the ones on top. So either you can add in column according to your requirement, or you can click on this add column option, and you have the option to copy parent columns. So I'm going to copy the status and priority column because I made custom labels for them, and simply click on the copy option, and it is showing me a notification that the columns are not in sync. So if I make some changes to the status column, it will not be reflected in this one here. So let me remove the status column from this previous one, and we are all set. Let's go ahead and add in our sub item. So simply click on this add sub item option, add in your task. You can then assign the owner for this task, and I'm going to choose Leo for it, and then just enter a due date that is 26 December and a priority for it. So let me add in a few more sub items to this task. So this way you can divide your task into subtasks and assign it to different users users or members of your team, and you even have the option to add multiple members on the same task so they can collaborate with each other and give you the finished task. So that's how you can create group items and sub items. Now let's see how we can filter and sort our tasks. So I firstly added in a couple of tasks in my different group. Now to filter your tasks and assignments, you can click on this filter option, and here you'll have quick filter settings where all you have to do is simply choose the things that you want to be visible on your board. So first off, we have the groups option. Here I can select one of the group that I want to show. So I'm going to show the evergreen content. So now my board only shows the evergreen content group. Next, I can select the column from my group that I want to show, and I have multiple options to filter out my data. Like I can filter it out by the platform. So I'm going to do that, and you can save this as a new view by clicking on this save button. So what it will do is it will create a new view called table right here. So here you can see it only shows content from evergreen content group, which has the platform as Instagram, and this is your new view and this is your main table. So you can create separate views for different teams or different platforms to get better and easy accessibility. So back to our table view, which is custom filter, I can click on this option and rename this to Instagram content for better understanding of the team and navigation as well. Now also let me change the filter to remove the group filter because I want to show all the tasks that are for Instagram platform. So let me deselect this option and I can go back to my view, and it has all the tasks from different group that are having the platform as Instagram. Coming back to our main table, you can hide different columns by clicking on this hide button and selecting the column that you want to hide, and also sort your data by any of the column. All you have to do is choose your attribute, that is the column name that you want to sort the data by, and choose the format that you want to sort your data into. Like we can sort our data by the due date in descending order, and here's our sorted data. As you can see, again you can save this as a new view as well by clicking on this save new view, but let's just go back to our default, remove the sorting, and lastly you have the option to filter the board by a person, that is you. So whoever is using the board right now, they can filter to see only the tasks that were assigned to them or any specific user. So I'm going to select myself, and you can see all the tasks that are assigned to me are being shown. So again, it provides ease of use, and this is just a sample project, that's why it has less tasks, but a real project would have a lot of tasks, so it would be better to know only the tasks that are assigned to me. Next, let me show you how you can create multiple views for better functionality of your board. So first off, let's add a view. Click on this add button, and here you have the list of options from which you can select what kind of view you want. We have table view, timeline, charts, calendar, Kanban, etc. So as we know, content is heavily based on due date, let's create a calendar view and a timeline view for our ease of use. So I'm going to click on this calendar option, and this is our calendar view. So you can apply filters in this as well, and you can change the view by clicking on this month button. You can switch it to days or weeks. I'm going to switch it to week, and then you have the option to add a new task directly from your calendar. Then you have additional setting for this widget. So you can click on the setting option, and you have different settings like color, label settings, or group settings. So you can use the color of status or select different option from these drop down, and the same goes for label as well as grouping. So this widget is customizable like that. Now let me show you how you can add in another view. So click on this add option, and we are going to add a Kanban because that's my favorite view, and it just organizes everything under statuses, decks, and you can move around your task from one deck to another deck really easily, which is what I like about Kanban. You can even move around your decks all along and directly create tasks under your specific status with ease like this. And all you have to do is add in your content and it is already added to the approved list. Now you can select the platform and the priority from this list here and assign your person from here as well as add a due date. Isn't that so easy? Again, you have the filter and sorting options for these tasks and view as well. And you have the setting where you can choose the columns for your Kanban. You can switch them up to priority as well, so it will organize all your tasks according to priority instead of the status. That can be useful as well. You have the critical task right here, so you would know that you need to work on these first and then you can work on different tasks according to their priority. Also, to view your subtasks, you have this little icon here which will open up your subtasks, and you can also customize your Kanban card from settings. Here you have the customization option. If you want, you can remove specific columns from your cards. Like if you don't want your platform to be visible in your card, you can click it here and drag it above and it will be removed from your card, so you only have the status, due date and this priority. And you can also remove the person, which is what will make your card more minimized and organized. So that was how you create Kanban, calendars and different other views. So far we have learned how to create our main board, different views, add tasks, subtasks, customize our whole view. Next, I want to add in a document for my guidelines on how to create the content. So let's get our sidebar back and add in an item to our workspace, and this time around we are going to select document instead of board, and I'll name this content guide and you can get started with your document. So now you can see as soon as you create a document, you'll get all these options, whether you want to start with AI, use a template, add in table charts, board values, etc. So you can add in a new element by clicking on this add button, and you have all this list of content that can be added. It includes lots of text options, lists, board widgets, then even application integrations like YouTube or galleries, etc. But I'm lazy, so I'm just going to use AI to write my document, and here I can describe the document, which is to create a content guide, and these are the topics that should be included in this document. So I'm going to click on this generate document button and wait for it to create my document. And this is the created document. It has also changed my title and added in all the topics according to what I requested. It has also added in this table for monthly content overview. You can either edit this or simply approve by going through it once, and even add in new elements to this document by simply adding a new line. Here you'll have this add button again, and you can add in whatever content or block you want to add. Also, a key tool while using a document is that you can mention members of your team right in your documents. Like let's say if we add in another row in here and call it managed by, then you can mention your team members by simply clicking on add the rate and then choose which person you want to tag here, so they will be notified whenever they are getting tagged in any of the documents. So you can make assignments of tasks using documents as well. Like if you have meeting notes, then you can simply mention the person which is responsible for certain tasks. You can add a cover image to your document as well and make it more professional looking. Next, let me show you how you can use dashboard to get quick informations on your tasks and simply visualize your boards. So go to add option in your workspace and select dashboard. Now you can name this dashboard. I'm just going to call it dashboard itself and click on the create dashboard option. Now you can add in multiple widgets once you are done connecting your board. So connect your board from this option here. You can add in this one here. You can even add multiple boards, but for now we just have single boards. That's what we are going to add. Next, you can select widgets. So these are the options. First one is the chart, numbers, battery, Gantt chart, file galleries, etc. data. You can explore more widgets by clicking on this button, and here you have different categories and even search option to find the appropriate vision board widget that you're looking for. I'm simply going to add in a chart, and this is the chart, the default chart that it has given us. So let's rename it to workload by status, and that's what it represents. Next, I'm going to add in two numbers. First one being high priority components, high priority content. So first off, I'm going to resize this chart by clicking on this circle here and dragging it however much I want. Then I'm going to drag this one here and resize this as well. So you can see there's no data in here. So to get that data, click on this chart and you can choose either the column which you want to display, but we don't have any number columns. So I'm going to select the count option, and here I have to filter my data because I want to show only the tasks that have high priorities. So I'm going to select the filter option. Here I'll select my board, the column by which I want to filter, that is priority is, and we can select the option that is critical and high. So these are my filters. I'm going to save that filter, and now you can see the value is 5. Similarly, I created this scheduled content where the filter is by the status column where the status is scheduled. Next, I'm going to add in another widget, which is the Gantt chart, and I can simply add this and resize it, and you can see it shows the board tasks lined across the date timeline. But I'm going to edit this one, so I'm going to click this chart, go to the settings, and here I can adjust it according to my needs. So first off, I am selecting the group by option, and here I want to group it by status, and they are now grouped by status. You can see draft, approved, unassigned, scheduled, etc. And now I want to change the color because all of them are colored by our board itself. So I'm going to select the column, and here I'll select status so that they can match the color of their status, and that's it. That's the customization that I had to make, and now you can see it is much more better. Also, let's change its view from week to days so it looks somewhat better, and here you can see the task sorted according to the day. And if you want to get the full task button, so simply click on this task and it will open this whole task detail box where you can check out the group, task name, person, platform, etc. And also you can make updates of this task from here and send them via email or just a simple notification. So that was basically our whole dashboard. We have a quick overview of our tasks, how many of them are high priority tasks, how many of them are scheduled, etc. Finally, I've changed this chart to due soon chart, so it will show only the tasks that are due this week. So it's better for our management. You can even export this dashboard to PDF by clicking on this export button, and you have the export to PDF option, or you can invite guests to view this dashboard without having to give them access to your team. The last thing that I'm going to add to this workspace is a folder to organize all of our different elements, that is our board, document, as well as dashboard. So simply click on the add item button and then select folder option. Here you can name your folder. So let's call it content, and then you can drag all your elements from above into the folder. So this way it is more organized, so you can have multiple folder for all these sub teams that you have under your digital teams, like your marketing team, your web team, and then there will be boards for their task, and it will be an organized workspace in the end. So far we have gone through how we can create dashboard, documents, as well as boards. So let me show you how you can automate process in your board. So let's go back to our board, and here you have the option to automate, which is this robot looking icon right in line with your board name. So click on that and you will have a few basic automation that are like templates which can be used. It can also be integrated with different apps like Gmail, Calendar, Outlook, etc. So I can use either the templates or you can create one from scratch. As a beginner, I would recommend for you to use templates, and once you get the hold of how it works, you can create one from scratch as well. So I'm going to create one, that is this one. So click on the use template option, and this template template is an automation to inform the person when a task has a certain status but is not yet done. So basically, when I enter in all the data, you'll understand better what I'm talking about. So this is the template. All you have to do is click on these light gray areas and select from the options below. So first step is when. So you'll select when to notify on this date. I'm going to use the second option, that is 1 day before and this time. Now for the date option, I'll select due date arrives and only if status. So I'll select the status option from my status column is not scheduled. Then notify. So I can type in the message that I want to send if this condition occurs. So here I can type in my message as well as auto populate using the fields from my board. So hey, I'll choose username, then I'll enter in my message, that is your content is not scheduled yet. Is there any problems that you're facing and do you want me to resolve it for you? And then you can select who do you want to notify. So that is either you, any team member, or from the table itself, that is the person. So let me quickly read this out for you so you'll understand what I'm trying to automate. So this automation will be triggered if 1 day before my due date arrives, the status of a task is not scheduled, then it should notify the person that is assigned to that task that why is it that your task is not yet scheduled, and this notification will be sent at the end of the working hours. So if it's not scheduled by then there must be some issue. So we can discuss that and resolve it for better time management and timely deliver our content. So this is the basic automation that we are creating. I'm going to click on the create automation, and now anytime you have a due date that is arriving and the post is not scheduled, the person will be notified. You can then check your automation history from here and create multiple automation to manage your workspace better. So those were basically all the features that I wanted to talk about regarding your workspace. Now let me show you quickly how you can add in members to your workspace. So click on this invite members option, and here you can type in their email and select their role from here, whether you want them to be the admin of your workspace member or just viewer, and then you can simply click on this invite button and those members will be given the accessibility which you have chosen here. Also, if you want to track your tasks, you can go to my work from this sidebar here and it will show you all your tasks grouped by the date. So you can see these are the past dates. This is your task from today. You can check the board from here as well as the group, the date, status, etc. If you want, you can change the view from here. This is in date view. It can be viewed from a status view or priority view. So if I go priority view, it will sort my tasks into priority list. So if they are critical, I have to work on them first thing, and then I can work on the high priority tasks. You can even switch to a calendar view where you will be given your task according to the date, and you can also customize this all by tweaking these settings here. And apart from that, you have this notification option where you'll receive notification will be shown, and if you're assigned a new task or you have been mentioned somewhere, you will be receiving notification about that as well. So these are all notification. This is for the notification on where you have been mentioned, and this is for assignment notification. Lastly, if you want to change the theme of monday.com, you can go to this profile option, click on this change theme button and switch to theme that is more suitable for you. So that was a basic tutorial of how you can create your first workspace having dashboard, documentation, folders as well as board to manage your team better and even automate a few processes to save time.